Okay, well, it feels great to be out there first day of spring. Just our attitude of our players. They want to be coached, they want to be strained. You can tell we're a close group. We let all three groups get reps. A little ugly, obviously, when you have that many guys, but the attitude was great. Real excited, really proud of our staff, the way they coached and their approach today too. So overall it was great. And then we'll practice tomorrow in helmets only. We'll take a day off. We'll go Thursday with shoulder pads and then Saturday with shoulder pads. But overall, good first day with just our approach to the whole thing. Questions?
I watched your on Twitter. They posted your speech to the team meeting, just how big this is. This is the first team that's going into the Big 12. Can you talk about the significance of that and how important this spring is to form the building blocks that'll be that team?
Spring to me is about building your foundation. We do have two new coordinators, just building who we are, identity, offensively, defensively, special teams wise. And really that's our approach. And spring is a time I really believe that you can outwork people, out-prepare people. And so that's our challenge to our players, that's our challenge to our coaches. One day under our belt, feel good about where we're at, long way to go.
You mentioned this week's schedule. What's kind of the plan the rest of the spring, scrimmages and whatnot?
Yeah, we'll have two scrimmages, and then of course we'll have our spring game. Our spring game will be a little more fan-oriented than it has been in the past, which I think that'll be good for our fans. It's going to be on a Friday night, but we'll have two good scrimmages before that, and really gearing up for that. This week, 4 practices in the week. That was by design. 2 with helmet only back-to-back, and then of course we'll get in our routine with our shoulder pads days after that.
Coach, you were talking about foundation. Obviously, this being the first practice, and we're going to be talking about foundation throughout the spring, but it feels like there should be or would be something a little bit extra going G5 to the Big 12. What's that little extra? What's that little more that you guys are going to have to do and figure out as you jump to the Big 12 there?
Yeah, I think, there's a lot of excitement going to the Big 12 and just, everybody raising their level. We got a lot of guys on our staff, that have been there and done that. I think that definitely helps, but our players are really looking forward to the challenge. The great thing about this place, they've been playing really good football against whoever the opponent's been for a long time, so it won't be a shock to these guys' system, but we're real excited about going to the new conference.
How do you feel the program is different now than when you first got here?
I think anytime the first year you're going into something, your players are learning you, you're learning them, you're learning the school, everything that goes with it. The second year it feels more like your team, and obviously the third year everything ought to be set in place, and it just feels a lot more comfortable from that standpoint. We've recruited the majority of these guys, which that also helps with the relationships and everything, and you recruit specifically to what you want to be really in all 3 phases.
I think this spring for the quarterbacks, obviously John Rice coming back for another year, working with a new coordinator. You got obviously Thomas and Timmy. Just how important is this spring for those quarterbacks? And would you obviously consider John Rice QB1 for now, but is there an ongoing competition?
Yeah, we're going to compete at every position. John Rice is going through spring and playing baseball, and Thomas, you could tell a difference in him today than last year, and then Timmy obviously getting the chance to go out there. But we're going to let those guys compete. We'll grade them each day, and we'll do that by all positions.
We get to watch a little bit of practice this morning. In our portion of the viewing session, I saw that, when they were going up-tempo down the field with the 1-2-3s, Darren was the guy, right next to the quarterback, and you were off to the side. I know he's the offensive coordinator calling the play. Now, what was that like for you on the side, more maybe watching?
Yeah, being a more of a, with the defense, special teams, offense, all the above, and so it feels natural as far as that goes. But I'm excited for him, excited for our offense.
Last year this time, you had said that the defensive front in that group was kind of an area of focus for building up this team. And now your requirement efforts have kind of tipped this a little bit, but would you say that the offensive line is kind of that point of focus this year?
Yeah, I think you're going into a new conference. You've got to be good up front on both sides of football, and I do think we've got some experienced guys on both sides. We have a lot of guys to really work with, and develop and all that. You can't have enough depth on, either line of scrimmage, obviously going into a conference.
Back on John Rice, how have you worked with Coach Lovelady to manage John Rice?
Yeah, we're talking on a weekly basis, being able to work together. Obviously, he's playing very well right now in baseball, and, he had a very good day today too. So, we're working together, and that was our plan, we recruited him.
Coach, can you elaborate a little bit more on why spring is so fundamental moving into the fall and giving your team have a chance to win a championship?
Yeah, when I say develop a foundation, is getting good at something. You're kind of what you're going to hang your hat on. All the fancy things and the schemes and everything, that's more fall camp, preparing. This is just old school football. And, who we're going to be defensively, who we're going to be offensively, who we're going to be special teams. You're developing that identity. Your young guys, it's always exciting the first day and the first week of the younger guys, who's taking that next step. That's something we grade our film here in just a minute from a coach's standpoint. We'll be able to tell, but it's simple football 101 in spring, and that's a good thing about it.
Do you anticipate any sort of drastic change in identity, considering that there are two new coordinators in place, or do you feel like it'll be some sort of continuity, particularly on defense?
Yeah, there's a lot of continuity. Obviously, Darren was here 2 years ago, and he's going to build upon what we were good at last year. We talked about pushing the ball down the field, and so we're going to really focus on that. And then Addison, he's going to build upon the things we were good at, and we're going to focus on getting turnovers and getting after the quarterback. That's really the two areas that the defense is going to focus on, this spring.
Coach, when you look at the positions, what's your biggest question this spring? Maybe what areas do you want to see answered by the end of it?
Yeah, I think defensively, linebacker position, just, getting depth. That was a position that, we had some injuries late, and, it was a little tough situation, but just develop there. As far as the offense, it's just, up front, we have a lot of new people playing new positions and all that. It's just developing that continuity and everything that goes with that.
Coach, Alex Ward is a player that hopes to get drafted next month. Can you talk a little bit about the person and player that he is?
Yeah, he's a phenomenal player, first of all. He was one of our leaders, which that's rare for a deep snapper. So he'll make it. He'll play in that league a long time, I believe, and, excited for him. He's got everything it takes.
Coach, you had to hire a running backs coach. You brought back Cam Martin. Why did you feel confident that he was ready to be a position coach?
Yeah, Cam, of course, was with me 2 years ago, and I think the world of him. I knew he was going to have a chance to be a very, very special coach. He went off last year and did a super job with their running backs, and so, he's a rising star in this business, and so we're fortunate enough to have him. He's a great relationship guy. He knows the offense inside and out, and he's gonna do a super job for us.
Saw Colton Boomer in a walking boot.
Mhm.
What happened?
Yeah. Before, in our drills before we left for spring ball, he rolled his ankle. He'll be back. We think he'll be back before spring. And good thing about it is we know what we're getting with him. It gives these other guys a chance to show what they can do.
Coach, what do you think about some of these rule changes they're proposing to speed up the game, running clock after first downs, and you can't, ice the kicker with a second timeout, some of these things? What do you think about that?
Yeah, they've been talking about these things for a while, so from a coach's standpoint, it's really not a shock. They're trying to shorten the game and make it more fan-friendly and all that, so it's just about adapting right now from a coach's standpoint, whatever rules there is, but like I said, it's nothing that is going to catch anybody off guard.
Towards the end of the season, you were talking a little bit more about Kingdom, NIL, and the collective.
Mhm.
How would you describe that relationship between football and athletics and Kingdom?
Yeah, that's a big part of everyone's success. Our success here, how well we'll do in the Kingdom and the collective. It's keeping up with the rest of college football, being competitive. Just from a head coach's standpoint, that's been really my major focus. Has something to do with why I'm not calling plays anymore too. It's just the new age of college football, and I'm doing everything I can to help us be competitive in that area.
How do you think that's going?
It's going good. It's going good right now. We've had really good response, but it's a full-time job, right now.
Coach, you mentioned incoming players, freshmen, and transfers, how have they integrated from the first day they got here to now?
Yeah, just comparing today from last year, we had like 16 new transfers. We had some older guys, and now we have a little less, transfers coming in, but it felt really good. You could just feel the camaraderie. You could feel the team aspect. I know talking to Coach Dawson, the 7-week period that we had before spring break was better than the first 2 years. So I think the trajectory of everything from a team standpoint is really in a good spot right now.
Coach, you tweeted last night, it's always the mantra, so come live where the world vacations. And you spent the weekend at Disney
Yeah.
World. How was that experience?
Yeah, well, first of all, just get a chance to be around our kids, our grandkids. That's always special. Disney's a challenge at times, but a lot of real good family moments with them. And of course, Disney is off the charts good. I think everybody knows that. And we didn't have to leave for spring break. That's a first. So live where the world vacations. It's a pretty cool deal.
Coach, with you guys back here, with this being just a few months away from joining the Big 12, and you guys going to be one of the first teams to be the official ones for UCF to be in the Big 12, do you guys feel that even now with spring practice, that sense of pressure, that sense of chip on your shoulder, kind of like prove yourself so that you guys belong in this conference?
Oh yeah, there's no doubt. This program has a chip on its shoulder way before I got here. And like I said, they've been playing really good football before I got here. Really good football against Power 5 teams, in big bowl games and all that. So it's not a shock to our system. It's a challenge for our players. They're looking forward to it. They're excited. I know that, they've been looking forward to this moment, before I got here. So now it's here. It's just about season moment. But we have the right leadership, I feel like, from a player standpoint. But yeah, we'll definitely have our chip on our shoulder, going into this new conference.
Did it feel different today, walking out onto that field, knowing that there's only a few months away from being officially in the Big 12?
Yeah, I think so. I think the urgency and seizing the moment when you have an opportunity. I know everybody, I hear, hey, we're just happy to be. No, we want to win a championship. Now, is that easy? No. But, that's what this program is all about. That's why, players want to come here and play, and coaches want to come here and coach. As this program's about championships, and that's our goal. It's a big goal, but something our guys are looking forward to. Okay.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Coach.